Alright guys, at the end of our last video we left off like this. So everything worked except for the HUD, and it didn't follow us around, but I could still collect coins and the amount would still go up. But our HUD wasn't following us around, and the reason for that is the book was made and it was designed around version 4.3. So version 4 was relatively new to the developer. In version 4, they created a new way to do the user interface, or the HUD screen. And if you look at the last chapter of our book, it talks about the new GUI, or graphic user interface. So he goes into it at the end to kind of cover the new stuff that was in version 4, but he kind of shows us the way to do the HUD in version 3. So I was trying to get it to work the old way, and then after that worked, then I was going to show you the new way, but I can't get the old way of doing it to work. Some of the options for the old stuff, like the GUI text and things like that were under game objects, are no longer there because everything is done with a canvas now. So that's what we're going to do. So here at the end, again, make sure you have a save of this, of your game. Alright, with this open, the way the new system works, and again, it came out in version 4, we create a canvas and we apply things to the canvas. So we're going to go game object, UI, canvas. And we're going to create this canvas. And then what we're going to do is we're going to apply the main camera to the canvas as opposed to this HUD camera. So you can see the canvas looks at the screen size is huge. So what we want to do is we want to assign render mode camera, and then for the camera you're going to pick the main. And now you can see everything is like in normal size. Alright, let me zoom in on that. There we go. Alright, so once that's done and your stuff is normal size, now we're going to grab the UI elements, the HUD coin, the HUD sprite, and the 3 hearts, and we're going to drag those under canvas. So now they're all objects under canvas. Now after you're done with that, make sure you go to HUD sprite and make sure it still has the coin counter assigned to it, that script. And then remember, on HUD camera we left the GUI game script assigned to that. So now we need to go to the main camera, add component, script, and grab the GUI game script. And now we need to add the hearts, and the same thing that we did here with the HUD camera. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to add heart 1, heart 2, miss heart 1, and then heart 3. Oh, I just flunked that all up. So 1, 2, 3, and again you can check your HUD camera to make sure this works. So it goes 1, 2, 3 from the top. Main camera 1, 2, 3, and now I need a full heart, a half heart, and an empty heart. So if I go to my sprites and HUD, open that up, there's a half heart, there's empty heart, and a full heart. Alright, then we need to move the HUD items back into the camera. So if I go here to the coin and move him around, I can move him right about there. So I'm going to make this 210, and then I can grab the HUD sprite, move him over there, and put him at 210 so they both line up. And then I'm going to grab my hearts and put them on the same line. And again, I want them to be even with the other things. I'm going to put the y-axis at 210, and then heart 2, and then heart 3. Yeah. Now, if you want everything lined up perfectly, when you click on your hearts, you can say, okay, hey, this is going to be minus 518, so then I need to subtract 5 to go to heart 2 or 20 or whatever it is, and have them even space. I'm just doing this one by eye, because luckily for me, I'm not being graded. You are. Don't forget, you have no final exam. Your final exam is to turn in your finished game level. So if you're behind, now's the time to pick up the pace. Alright, if you did everything right, now when we hit play, we see our HUD follows us and it's always on the screen. If I hit a coin, my counter is working, and if I take damage, I lose hearts. And my guy blinks. Alright. So that's how everything should work. Remember, under the new system, you create a canvas, then you put everything on the canvas, and then you just decide how the canvas is going to be displayed on the screen. In our case, we attach the canvas to the main camera, and that way everything kind of like fits together. Alright, next week we get into some more fun stuff. We start playing with the particle effects. And we put little sparklies on the boxes when we hit them, and there's a video that I linked that shows you how to like make fire. Now obviously that fire doesn't look too good until you put a texture on it, but once you put a texture on it, it looks pretty neat. So next week is really our last technical class where we do this stuff. After that we optimize, and then after optimization we put it all together so all the scenes will play. So there will be a title screen and then a play screen, and then we link to what happens if you die and what happens if you live, or you win the game or you lose the game. So next week is the last week where we add stuff to the game. After that we just kind of make improvements and tweak it a little bit, and then you're all set. So again, if you're behind, now's the time to pick it up. And make sure that you look for different things in your game right now that you're missing, like the spinning thing if you've got any of those. We want that to really go under the water. So when it spins, let me move a guy over here. You can see it goes under the water, so that's what we want. We don't want that on top of the water. Now, don't worry about this ninja here. I found a sprite sheet with a dead, idle, jumping, walking, so I'm going to kind of turn my player into a ninja. But I digress. Make sure that your ground stuff is all above the water, so if it's something like this, the water doesn't go across it. And remember, that's all in the sorting layer. If I click on those individual things, like here, if the sorting layer is foreground, then obviously that looks bad. So we want to make sure we change that to background so it looks good. Alright, so that wraps up this week. After this, everything should be good. Your HUD should be following you. You should be able to hit coins. You should be able to see collecting coins come on. It should be all set for Chapter 11 next week. Alright, folks, have a good